Test, test. Test. What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Good afternoon, good evening, happy weekend. I wanted to. I started yesterday on a piece on gun control. Um, I did an hour long video. What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. That's the video. And but it's getting too much, so I need to do this in one vomit instead of doing a bunch of sections and then putting together and adding the opener and all that stuff. This is just easier. Plus, that's not the only thing I want to talk about. But I feel like my message is important because this is the next thing, but I feel like it's the next planned thing, you know. Suddenly all the shootings, and then I've articulated in previous pieces about this latest shooting or these latest shootings, because my last one I did on the Andrew Abdullah in New York, and of course the Robb Elementary School shooting, and there was two here in California, which I just didn't want to cover those. If you're covering one shooting, you're pretty much covering them all, and but I need to do this because the volume is going up now with regard to everybody is playing a mind game on the public with using this shooting at the elementary school as the gun control shooting. We began hearing whisperings, just little slight rumblings of it after the Buffalo supermarket shooting, but that was black people. And I have a video here on the channel called No Guns for Negroes, that there is and has always been an unwritten policy of white people, white society, white government to try to get the guns out of the hands of the niggers. Because an armed African person with a mind and organization is deadly to white people. But more than that, an armed militia of African people puts up, finally, a resistance for demand of said reparations that cannot be, or at the very least is more difficult to ignore and to treat with callousness. But children get tears from anybody more than anything. Second to that would be puppies. After children, then down to puppies and animals. But certainly children are supposed to you're supposed to lose your mind. And my message in whole on this issue today is to try to inspire my people to stay focused. That it's not an either or proposition, that it is a both and. This can be very sad and tragic, and at the same time, there is no need for us to be supporting gun control. Because gun control always means take more guns from me and you. You will recall that in the early hours of Katrina, The first thing they were on the ground doing, not bringing us water and food and sending helicopters to lift us to safety. No, no. Go and take the guns. They were going door to door, taking guns. A lot of people don't remember that, but that happened. You can go and look that up. There's always a desire from the powers that are allowed. You know, people say the powers that be, the powers that are allowed. Powers that be, it would be the divine. This would be Allah. That is the power that be. Like you can't, there's no, you don't get a say in that. But these powers, not only do you get a say, but you can remove these powers and you can extinguish these powers even. But there's always been a desire in their end game of some form. You can't really have a complete end game no matter what else they try on the populace. You can't really carry that to its full final conclusion unless the people are not armed. So while my message is always to African people, in this particular message, I don't mind anybody else listening. There, I said it. Oh, wait. All right. What we saw even at the height of the pandemic in Canada and Australia, I feel like there was another country where, I mean, the police were brutalizing people, like, you know, for the smallest infraction. It was, you know, I mean, this is the most violent nation. So we hadn't really seen this level of violence from police so much in other nations. I hadn't. And certainly not the ones that I named. You know, they're seen as peaceful and, you know, you should move there type place, you know. Canada with its universal health care and universal basic income, and, you know, nobody carries guns. In fact, even in Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11 video, he did a section on where he goes to Canada and he's just walking down the street. He goes, we just want to test to see if people really do leave their doors unlocked. And sure enough, every house he went to, he could just walk right in. No hostility. You know, they don't have guns. They don't do that. But that also leaves their populace vulnerable. And certainly for African people who have never taken seriously the concept and indeed the need, the urgent need to be armed, it is important that we understand you cannot not be armed. You cannot support gun control. And that is in no way a contradiction to this being a total tragedy and we're all so broken up about it. It's very sad. But guns don't kill people. People kill people. People kill people. And it is a choice. It's like with anything. I could mow down people on the sidewalk as I drive down the street. I could do that. You know, are we going to start banning cars? You know, I'm not one of these Yahoo Second Amendment people, but I am an intelligent man, and I also understand the environment in which I live. And what I know for sure is it makes it so much easier, because the American public is the dumbest population of people ever assembled anywhere, anytime in history, is the American public. That's it. The dumbest and the weakest. And for all of their idiocy of 6 January storming capitals, I've always said that in theory, I totally, and in principle, I support that. Just not that one. That was for the wrong thing. That was for the wrong thing. I'm here for storming capitals. Storm the shit out of a capital. Yes, yes, storm. But not for that. You see. And I cite that because it's going to become even more important in the very short future. I see it as now, before now. But as with anything, most people only wake up when it's too late, you know, and it starts very slowly. First, it's, oh, we start with background checks. Then it's, you can't buy unless you go to a gun show, or you can't, now you can't get it online. You can't. Then it's now, oh, you can't have but this many rounds, and you can have but this caliber of weapon and all that. Nah, because we never hear in the daily murder of us, we never hear, well, we have to take guns from police. We never hear that. They don't even want to take qualified immunity. So if you want to tell me you want to disarm police, we could talk about it. We could talk about it. But agents of the state being armed who have shown down through our lifetimes that they are willing to carry out the will of the state. They're not here for you and I. They're not. They're here to serve the powers that are allowed. And they only hire the weakest minded of the population to even be in the positions. They don't want anybody who is a self-thinker, an independent thinker, who has a moral compass, who won't just carry out any order because you gave it to them, and who won't stand and say, I'm just doing my job. They don't want that person. That's got to go. Get that out. No. We need robots. And they will never stop to because the people at the top never get dirty. They never break a nail. Nothing happens. For all the tough talk, like Joe Biden is a shuffler. He just shuffles. He doesn't walk. He doesn't traipse. He shuffles. So this shuffler can talk tough, but he doesn't do anything. If he's going to attack another country, as with him and any of these demons that have been president, they just order the military. So it's somebody's kids. It's somebody's brother, father, sister, mother, niece, auntie, whatever, that are now going to be put in harm's way to carry out what the shuffler and anybody else like that wants done. No, we can't allow this. We can't. What we really need, but because white people have fucked it up for everybody, because if there was really an atonement that had taken place and a reparations that had been paid, and there wasn't daily terror from white people upon Africans to this day, then we would probably have a country unity, a harmony to some degree, but this is an ongoing crime that never quits. So we can't even, so in the midst of emergency, you still got to be thinking about being compartmentalized. It's kind of like they send you into Afghanistan or something, your battalion, but just the the ones that are 6 feet tall are in this group. Like, we don't allow the 5'7" and the 5'11" and no. Like, you're still trying to have a thing when y'all should just be one thing fighting against this other army. This is that. Sad, but damn it, it's the truth. And so that's just the reality. And you have to work with what you're given. So I'm only concerned about us, because the first casualties are always us. Always. So when I hear them talking about, and now they're even being so bold as to say the new distraction now in the gun control soup is that the police in Uvalde, Texas, the scene of this elementary school shooting, that they were cowards, that they didn't go in for almost an hour or over an hour. It was like 70 something minutes, because the dude had an AR-15. I've been telling you for years, get you the most powerful shit you could afford, by hook or by goddamn crook. Because there's nowhere in the language of the Second Amendment that tells you what caliber you can have, and you have to get it by this way, and you have to be this age, and all. No. Second Amendment is for the very reason of preventing tyranny, all-out tyranny upon the citizenry. And so once the people are disarmed, you saw when Trump went and took his Hitler picture with the Bible. He just spontaneously walked out of the White House, and the stormtroopers were just throwing hand grenades and beating the people. And you saw there was a news crew that I think was Australian or BBC or somebody, and they just beat the shit out of them with the shields, and it was like no regard. That's just one example, but you should be seeing that as the ultimate picture. He never even ducked. He just walked with that bullshit walk of his, and his other minions, his daughter was with him, and they just sashayed over to this church so he could take his Hitler picture. So now imagine now if you get rid of this idea of peaceful protest. He's not coming out of the White House at all. And his minions aren't coming out either. The stormtroopers are going to say, we can't, they're fully armed out there. We're outmanned and outgunned. Because there's always going to be more citizens. There's going to be any National Guard, police, military, doesn't matter. There's more people than all of them combined. More people than all of them combined. And so when you look at the pandemic and the mandates that were coming down, from masks to vaccines to everything else, it's a lot easier to now take you straight into fascist dictation if you can't put up any resistance at all. This is why women go to self-defense classes, and they learn karate, and they learn, and they carry mace and emergency alert and all the shit, because we accept as a species that women are vulnerable, certainly in this society where women wear nothing, and that makes you empowered to have nothing on, whatever, but we accept that women are more vulnerable. So we tell them you should be able to defend yourself. And what the vulnerable places on a man are, where you should strike him, and these things like this, and how to, so that you don't just get taken against your will. This is the same concept. This is a country, a people, an entity who seek to control all of humanity, all the earth, all of your goings on. That's what they want. The last thing anybody should be supporting is gun control, dude. And we can get into, how you can put more sanctions on white people and their children, who are clearly a problem with guns, and let us not buy into this Chicago is the worst place, and Baltimore and all that stuff, because I've proven in previous work that this is off-duty police and other yahoos that would have been the type that stormed the Capitol on 6th January, who go around and murder people. This is an advent that's new. Even when gang culture was at its height in sort of the 90s, 80s and 90s, you didn't have it like this nowhere in the country. So all of a sudden it's just evolved. Nah. This is another hand. And in one of the cases, when they had one, I don't know, what was it? Quite some time back, they had a bunch of shootings in, it might have been Baltimore and Chicago, but I was just over this, 80 people were shot over the weekend, and 80 people were shot, and all this, what? So I showed you, I went forensically. It's probably a 6-hour video, but we went through each shooting because I knew what I was looking to find. And what we proved in going through it was that everybody that was shot didn't see the shooter, and we had no witnesses, but everybody, their wounds were such that they were going away, running away. And so that tells me that, and then there was some other evidence with, strike that. But anyways, I believe that. I believe that our people are not that murderous, and just to be randomly, we're not, so just on any holiday weekend or something special, then 80 people get killed. I'm never going to buy that. I'm never going to buy that. That's just to put up this ire that, when we come down with our sweeping gun shit, we definitely have to include the black people in it. Because remember, look at Chicago. Well, look at Chicago. Look. No, we don't have that type of relationship with guns. We don't. And if we did, and we were a conscious people, then it wouldn't be 80 black people that were shot over a weekend. It would be white people that were shot over the weekend. So let's not buy into that. I say these things, even though I won't be here, but the principle is still the same. You don't, that's like you just leave your door unlocked in a bad neighborhood or any neighborhood in this country. Well, I'll just leave my door unlocked. For what? You leave your door unlocked, and you just gave up any right that or opportunity that you would have to bitch if something in your house gets, taken, or you get a home invasion or something, and they come, they be like, well, we just had the door unlocked. Really? Then they're like, well, like even your homeowner's insurance isn't going to pay out. I mean, so don't buy into this gun control thing. Don't let your emotion run away with you, that you get caught up in this tornado of now sucking away your rights. And in the meantime, you should be stocking an arsenal for yourself and your family, because at the end of the day, a phrase I hate, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you're going to need to be able to physically fight back. And if you have bought into this sympathy and slathering of sympathy shit, you're going to be on the losing end. You will. You will. You will. Because we know that they're agents of the state. They're paid murderers of the state. They back down when there's real firepower. They're happy to make up any excuse all day long, round the clock, about I was in fear for my life and I didn't know what I had and we didn't know and I couldn't see his hands and all that. But when they're really faced with resistance, they back the fuck down. They do. And so now one of the big stories that's coming out of this, the aftermath of this elementary school shooting, is just that. And you had the bastard up there on TV literally admitting, I forget what his position was. He was a law enforcement person. And they were like, well, how come you guys didn't go in? And by the way, there's still all kinds of problems with this shooting, because at one point you're trying to say all the kids were in one classroom, so none of the kids from other classrooms evacuated. And why don't I have images of kids running from classes? And then when I do have one footage on the ground, it's shaky. I told y'all about the shaky camera. There's no shaky camera in 2022, unless somebody's shaking it. Do you understand? There's not that much shaking going on where they wanted to, I'm sure you've seen the story where the parents went there and they wanted to get their kids, and then one of the ladies was arrested and wrestled to the ground by the cop, and she was arrested because they were standing there doing nothing. Still don't know how much of that is staged and how much it's real. I don't know, and then balloons and headstones were made up just on the fly, ready to go. Candles were ready, little crosses with all the victims' name on each cross. I mean, it's a little too soon for me, because at least you got to shop, it's got to be time to make some stuff. But that's a dual issue. I'm trying not to go into that lane. I'm trying to stick to gun control to say that they admit that they didn't go in because it was an AR-15. That's essentially what their admission is. It was an AR-15 and they didn't want to get shot. I still don't know what happened with the truck being in the ditch. I mean, there's still some things going on, but even if this didn't happen, my point is still the same, because they're going to use it whether it happened or not. Their goal is still the same. And you're seeing a ramping up now like I never seen it before. It's always it kind of blows up after a mass shooting, something, there'll be gun talk for about 5 minutes and just kind of goes away. But this is really saturated. I don't even have television. So just online, the stuff that I'm being exposed to, there's a saturation of knee-jerk sympathy grabbing material, the children, and the children, and these were all Latino children. So we know they don't give a damn about Latino children or black children. So, I'm over it. But don't buy into this. You can still have the sympathy and be very heartbroken over all this. That's all fine. Damn it. And still be cocking your damn gun, because that's what you're going to need eventually. I'm telling you, I don't understand why people can't see that white people are out of their mind as a whole. They're in a panic, a fit. Even the bastard that shot up the Buffalo supermarket was saying that he believed that black people are trying to take over and all this. Well, I should have been shot up some shit when I was 12, if that's what we're going on. I mean, so but they believe this, and in some of their polling, at least 60 something, I think, percent. Don't quote me on this number. I think 60 something percent of Republicans which are just out of the closet racist because it's all white people. But um, believe there's a replacement theory, that there's a replacement, like there's an agenda to replace white people with us. First of all, that wouldn't be a replacement. That would just be a takeover. Replace means that it's something like that. Replace, replace. That means it was there and then you put it there again. Same thing, in same integrity. Well, this is an inferior piece of shit to us. So that would be a takeover, not a replacement. Let's just understand the language. But they're buying into this replacement theory. And interesting, while it's cuckoo, it would make no sense, because if you're really trying to replace your white ass with us, then you wouldn't be killing us every damn day. So not understanding. But it's not completely insane on its face, simply because of the thing I bitch about all the time, is all the interracial promotion. All the interracial promotion doesn't matter. If I scroll Instagram right now, I'm sure I'm gonna see some ad with a white bitch and a black man. I will. I'll see it. You see? So it doesn't make sense, and I don't represent that I have all the answers, everybody. I can only just give you what I see and what I think and what I know for sure, you know? And the best predictor of what anything will do in the future, anything or anyone, is what they've done in the past. You have to always know what anything is done. You go to a car lot, you buy a car, you're trying to find out what it's done by looking at the mileage on it. If it's a used car, that's going to tell you something about what it's done. Look, are those highway miles or is that street miles, you know? What, you got to look at the past. You know, you're on Carfax, you know, so this is always the case, but only when it comes to us that they want to sever that common sense. We're supposed to let everything sit back and hear this and just think that it doesn't matter, because you will remember these words when the attack is at your fucking door. And it can come literally or proverbially. You'll hear something that's now being rolled out that you're like, fuck, I'm not even armed. Or when you're not able to go and get anything. Either one of those scenarios, either one is going to be a nightmare. It is. But it's coming. Because the first wave I suggest is to get as many guns off the street, out of the hands of citizens. They use off the street, language matters. Off the street is like, ooh, there's this jungle out there. But when you say out of the hands of citizens, wait, why do you want my gun? Because when you say off the street, you do not think about your gun. You're thinking some criminal or some, you know, gang or some shit. Language matters. And they are very aware of that. They're very crafty with their forked tongue. So when you say, to take the guns from the citizens as opposed to guns off the street, it becomes something else. And so they showed a statistic where I think in Australia they had a buyback of guns. Was it Australia? Anyways, 650,000 guns. 650,000. Was it Australia? I can't remember. It might have been a state here. I might be completely off. Whatever. The fact of the matter is that the first tier is to get guns, while then trying to say, for those we can't get, let's bring down the caliber. So you'll just be able to have a pea shooter. But we see cops come out the trunk with all kinds of bazookas. Even in this damn elementary school shooting, they had a damn armored tank out there. They want to be military so bad without the responsibility. Cops are the fakest bullshit on the earth, dude. American police are the weakest bitches that ever existed. I mean, it's the most, you're so not, I did a video showing you it's so not a dangerous job. Like, we're sick of hearing that song. Stop saying cops have a difficult job. The easiest damn job on earth is to be a damn cop. The easiest. So don't fall into this. I want to show you some of the drama, and I might have to, damn it. Just so you have a visual. Because I was actually running it. I just need to see, what was I using? because that really was the perfect one. Um, this guy who ran for president in the last cycle, a bitch ass, but there he was, and he's being screamed out of I'll just call it a press conference by the Texas governor and, you know, other minions. Okay, it's ABC. And I just want to illustrate the fakery of it. How long is this one? How long was this one? Aha. Okay. This might be it. Just the drama of
Excuse
it
me.
all.
Excuse me.
I'm suggesting to you. And by the way, this Beto O'Rourke guy probably has political aspirations. He ran for president last cycle. He's a former Texas congressman. And, you know, my closing argument, if this is the same clip that I originally was going to show you, is at the end. I'll break that down for you when we come to it. Let me bring you in. And let's go through this. This is goodoldboy.org. Now, the other side of it is that, remember, white people never agree on anything. Even Malcolm told us that. Malcolm was saying that in his day. White folks don't agree on anything. That's why it's always 50-50 when they're showing you old. That's still true today. So, you know that some of these Texas good old boys are definitely in bed with the gun lobby. Like, stop it already. You know, so they're never going to be fully on board for full gun control and, you know, but trust and believe they still want to get the guns out of the hands of citizens. Because once you take people's ability to defend themselves, it's like taking candy from a baby. We could do anything we want. I think this is you. And I need to turn up the house a little bit. But these good old boys, I can't believe you come in here acting like this. I can't believe. Oh, there they were. Oh wait, that's the one you need to click, you dumb idiots. I'm a total disaster. I think we should have switched over by now. Did we switch? Oh, this one's dragging and keeps jumping off the damn. Did we switch? Ah, we're switched. Okay, took 50 years. Hear this now. If you're going to be able to hear it, because it's buffering, and I hope we don't start buffering. Okay, why am I not seeing that on here then? Let me reset this one too. Okay, we're switched over. Alright, I need to turn the volume on this, see if we're hearing it when I play it.
Sir, you are out of line. Please leave this auditorium.
Okay, wait. Now, this is Beto O'Rourke. You'll see him. I'll identify him for you in a second. There was some press conference. The governor is up there of the state and some other people. And the whole purpose for this, because he interrupted this with his benevolence. You know, you're letting this happen because he's all for gun control. He's young. We'll use that very carefully. He's young. He's got that sort of Kennedy, you know, Bobby Kennedy thing. They were whispering about that on the last presidential cycle. I'm over it. And so the optics matter, the chosen one. Remember, he's a corporate Democrat. He's one of the people that rushed to the side of Joe Biden to do anything to get Bernie out of the way. So he will never have anything, I'll never have anything good to say or do about him, ever. That's something else. This isn't long. Hear this, see how they're reacting, and all of it could be theatrics for all I know. But I have to believe, based on what I know and what they show, that, you know, these are good old boys. They're definitely not partying with their guns. This is Texas too. Come on, dude, stop it already. So some of their vitriol against him is definitely not manufactured. But hear this.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Sit down.
You're out of line and an embarrassment.
Sit down and don't play this.
The next shooting is right now, and you are doing nothing.
No, you need to get his out of here. This isn't the place to talk this over.
This is totally predictable when you...
Sir, you're out of line.
That's Beto O'Rourke. With the little graying temples, and it's all making me very sick. But also in this, it's an opportunity to show you the paid murderer, paid agent of the state. You see? Because now it's hierarchy. If it's me and you and Beto O'Rourke, they're coming to get you and me. It's Beto O'Rourke and the governor and the other higher-ups. These meatheads are ready to move in on him. At their, you know, just that they don't even have to give him an order. Just that they don't like the dude is enough for them to start moving in. You see what I'm saying? The paid agents of the state, everybody. This is who you. Those are people that are going to be given orders to come and take your shit. Those ones you're going to have to actually fire upon. That's why you need to have some hardware, because the whole spirit, the spirit of the Second Amendment is that you don't want to ever have a government that can be completely controlling over you in any way. So there's many cases where the American people in this country should have taken it to their ass already. Like when Bush went and when they all signed on for the Iraq War, when half the fucking world was the largest anti-war protest ever in the history of mankind across the earth. People were like, don't go into Iraq, don't go into Iraq. That's when you storm their shit. But we didn't storm their shit because the American public is stupid. You see what I'm saying? But to come back to center, just to say, those are the people that you're going to have to take down when they come to take your ability to defend yourself. Now, see this.
Sir, you are out of line. Sir, you are out of line. Please leave this auditorium. I can't believe you're a sick.
I can't believe. You got to hear that again. I can't believe.
I can't believe you're a sick. Would come to a deal like this to make a political issue.
Come to a deal like this.
It's on like you. Why don't you get out of here?
So he's just doing a bunch of yelling and it's all fine. That's not the way it works. Now, he's a former state congressman. Does he really need to leave? Like, he's been elected to office. Does he really need to leave? Not understanding. But watch this now. Because he gets outside. Now,
as we're listening to the Lieutenant Governor,
this is the second marker. Boom, give you the unassuming news reporter. She's just reporting on it, but watch.
Governor speak following a very heated exchange between Governor Abbott.
She doesn't have any copy in her hand. She's got her hand on the hip. You know, following a heated...
And former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke, he has left the auditorium. He was asked to leave the auditorium by the governor, and he's now speaking to cameras now, so let's take a listen.
He's now speaking to cameras now, so let's take a listen. Remember, nothing gets on TV without it being on purpose. That's first. Second of all, even though this is an ongoing event, they're selling a lot of advertising because crisis is good for money. So, but they have time for this. So here's Beto O'Rourke now. And by the way, you'll recognize this guy was in the crowd a minute ago Well, all of them were, quite frankly. But suddenly this guy is there. I'll just go back and show you him. This guy right here, if you can see my cursor, with the little curly hair. Hopefully you can see. Right here. Right here. I don't even see my damn cursor. Anyways, hopefully you see it. Now, I'll show you him when Beto O'Rourke is being thrown out of the... There he is. Boom. Allahu Akbar. I got him on the first click. There he is right there. There he is. There he is. So look. They don't always look that.
It's on.
And what's going on in the press conference with the governor of the state should be more important than Beto O'Rourke. How does he get upstaged by Beto O'Rourke? I mean, it's the governor, it's the whole state. Shit is up there. This one dude comes in, and we're to believe that all the reporters follow him outside. Wait.
Why don't you get out of here?
Why don't you get out of here? I can't believe you're doing all this right here. So fast forward to...
Following a very heated exchange between Governor Abbott and former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke.
Well, let me shut up.
He has left the auditorium. He was asked to leave the auditorium by the governor, and he's now speaking to cameras now, so let's take a listen.
Greg Abbott in the state of Texas is the county jail system in the state of Texas. The largest inpatient mental health care facility in the state of Texas is the Harris County Jail in downtown Houston, Texas. He's refused to expand Medicaid, which would bring $10 billion a year, including mental health care access for people who need it. He's refused to champion red flag laws. When somebody says that they are having trouble, that they may kill somebody, they may kill themselves, a red flag law would protect the public. He's refused.
A red flag law will protect, because you need to be protected now. It's all the danger. It's just, there's so much danger. And a shooter's coming out from underneath your bed, and oh my God, look, they're in the closet, and they're in your house, and they're in the car. And no.
He's refused to support safe storage laws so young people cannot get their hands on their parents' guns. He's refused to support a ban on AR-15s and AK-47s.
And on AR-15s. First he gives you the safe storage law. He knows what he's doing. This is a politician. So he just mentioned safe storage laws. He will not support that. He will not support a ban on AR-15. So you're supposed to go along with all of it. If I give you the first corner of the pie, you're supposed to eat it all the way to the crust. You feel me?
Hold it for you.
This 18-year-old who just turned 18 bought an AR-15 and took it into an elementary school and shot kids in the face and killed them.
See?
Why are we letting this happen in this?
Shot kids in the face. Why are we letting this happen? Really harvest that sympathy that's in the air. We got to get it done now while they're still feeling very sad and ooh, their emotions just run away with them quick, because we have to do it now. He's not alone. He's to look like, ooh, I'm just out here, I'm the benevolent dude, and I care so much about, it's all about the kids, everybody. It's all about the children. It's just all about the children.
Country, why is this happening in this state? Year after year, city after city. This is on all of us if we do not do something, and I am going to do something, and I'm not alone. The people of Texas are with us. The majority of the people of Texas are with us, but we've got...
Look at the shot, though. See all the other press? Look where he's at. Why can I see him so well? No other microphones crowding the shot. Nobody, you know, nothing. Just perfect shot. Just by coincidence, we're sure.
Got to stand up to this, or we just accept this theater and business as usual, and we accept the next shooting. We could have stopped this if we had stood up after Santa Fe High School, if we had stood up after El Paso. We are going to stop the next one. We're standing up right here in Uvalde, Texas right now. That's why I'm here. That's what the people of Texas want right now. That's what we're going to focus on.
Wait, there are more.
Inside that, where all the yahoos were up there on stage, not a single African person. Not just, so just all white people. Just all white people. This is a white issue, but you'll be the first casualty.
There are more guns here than almost anywhere else. Beto, there's what are you gonna do about this
speech? This is where I want to end this. He just finishes his speech. That was all in English, as I recall. Now the reporters are all screaming questions in English, and wait for it.
The guns in this state. Beto, what about the guns in this state?
What makes this one different? Why is this different? Todo que es posible para prevenir estas masacres que tenemos en cada comunidad Sutherland Springs, Santa Fe High School en el condado acerca de Harris en el.
Why are you suddenly going in Spanish? Oh, because you're going to be running for office again. And so this is to get the Latino vote, because all the children were Latino. So all his ranting in there with the yahoos on stage was all in English. Then he comes outside, gives a 2.5-hour press conference. Okay, it wasn't. It was a few minutes. He gives a 2.5-hour press conference in English. The reporters all start screaming questions in English. Nothing screams, I'm running for office, louder than I'm speaking in Spanish suddenly. I'm over it. I had to bring that. We don't need his full vomit. We're over it. But I had to bring you that. Because this is all theater. He goes in there and claims they're playing politics. They're claiming he's playing politics, like the fat ass on stage is like, I can't believe you come here with something like this, doing something like this. Like, because they all care about the children now, while they all politicize this for their own sides. You see? So the yahoos know, wait, they're okay for taking guns from African people. But, like, every time you turn around, there's some rapper that has a gun charge. Like, as much money as you got, you didn't go and get you a damn paperwork in order, or just have your bodyguard or somebody. I mean, just like there should be a gun issue for people to have money. I'm over it. And when you do stuff, you do, as a rich person, you do something that poor people do, I don't have no sympathy for you. I just can't. Like when Kobe had the rape charges, like it should have been a whole system of checks and balances of 50 people that this chick met before she even knew it was you. So you deserve to get caught. I don't feel nothing for you. I don't. I can't. I'm over it. Anyways, so the yahoos, because they're all cross burners, they're absolutely fine with guns being taken out of the hands of Africans and even Latinos at this point. But they would never dare to touch you. And this is in Texas. This is a good old boy. And Texas is a red state. I feel like it went almost purple over the last cycle, and they were wondering if it was going to go blue and whatever. It's still good old boys. And they still love their guns in Texas like they always have. Do you understand? You'll remember that Obama, their heads rolled off because he didn't even say who he was talking about. Just, we were going into a recession when he was running in 2008. And at one of his events, he said, people were asking about the mood of the country and this and third. He goes, when times get tough, people tend to cling to their guns and religion. And nobody reacted to that except for white people. Nobody else. Nobody else felt like they was being talked about. Only a hit dog hollers. Just saying. Just saying. So, I don't want to hammer this to death. There's a lot more I could say because I still do think that there's some major problems with this shooting overall. Yeah. Like anything in life, I go by how I feel. When you keep that signal pure, everybody, and you know how to recognize that, then you don't have to doubt yourself. You don't have to doubt yourself, because then you're on right guidance. And I don't look for something, but just when something presents itself, then that's what I see. If you didn't show me a problem, I wouldn't see one. Like, that's how I feel about it. But we're definitely going to hear about Beto O'Rourke running in 2024, and he's probably, I don't know if he's going to run for president or he's going to run for something else in the state. Maybe he's trying to take the governor's seat. I don't know, but this was all theatrics on his part and seizing the moment to be seen as, and I stood against the governor, and I'm fighting for gun control, and I'm fighting, and that's a platform. We've seen it a million times. Leading into this next thing that I want to instigate, I think is the word, is because, somebody made a good point. I saw something the other day, because y'all know I'm just over it with all this transgender confusion and nonsense. And somebody said Why are we fighting for women's rights if we're not allowed to define what a woman is? I just thought, home run. Like, that's just it. That's drop the mic, leave the building, and no need to clean up. You know, even the
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
supposed to be
وبركاته.
black
الحمد لله رب.
Supreme Court Justice, you know, was asked, she's a black woman, and she's asked, you know, how do you find a woman? And she says, I'm not a biologist. Really, bitch? That's your answer? I mean, women are being played in a way that I just, I'm an angry black man already, but if I was a woman, I would be in jail right now or dead. Definitely already. Because that's like another layer of shit, you know, that I just wouldn't tolerate. Women are being played big time, you know, and I'm consistent in my feelings and my thoughts because I've said, you know, why aren't women out, you know, pushing back against these damn transgender ass people saying you will never be a woman, you're not a woman, and blah, 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 and on I could go. So I think we should just be over fighting for women's rights if women aren't going to stand up and say, no, we're women. Because the first requisite, bitch, you got to be born with a vagina and a wide pelvis, if we just want to go basics. Do you understand? Before we get to the chromosomes and the, you know, the woman's intuition and the mother wit and just a woman's temperament and all them. I may have to switch the software, y'all. If I'm still connected, I may have to switch the software. I may have to. Damn it. I really don't feel like a lot of technical stuff tonight. I just don't have the energy. Alright, let me get to this in case, just in case. There's a video that I'm going to put the link for in the chat that you can watch when we're done. This is essential because this is right up there with when I tell you that I didn't know until I came to YouTube there was this war between black men and black women.
There's a way to make an entrance.
This is my destiny.
It was now a conspiracy of witches.
Download Veely today.
Okay, fine. This is it. I'm going to show you what it is, or the title, and then you're going to go and see it. This should be shifted over. It's called A Mother's Right to Breastfeed Their Baby. And then blah, 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 full documentary. All right, I'm going to share this. I think. Okay, copy. And then I'm going to come to us some kind of way. And I'm going to put this in the chat. Oh, it's not going to let me do it. You must watch this. Okay, it's in the chat. Why this is essential is because, where is it? Because I didn't know this either, everybody. You know, I'm not really hard on this whole abortion thing because I just feel like that train is just down the track too far for me, you know. And I've always believed that women don't just arbitrarily give up babies of their own intuition. You know, women give up babies because there's some man that's telling her she got to give up the baby, otherwise he don't want to be with her because he's a piece of shit, and she knew he's a piece of shit, but she's in some fancy land and she thinks he's going to turn into some billionaire or something once she has the baby or something. Like, I can't with you. But it's either that or, you know, there's cases of rape or incest and things like that. But whatever the case, I feel like because the bond between a woman and a baby is so, it's to use holy is not even, doesn't give it its proper respect. I don't believe. I think that it's so divine that it's like no woman can just give up a baby, whether it's adoption or abortion, I believe, and they just good, unless she's on crack or she's on drugs or she's under hypnosis or something. But I think it's because what I experience as a human being, as even a man, just my relationship with the universe, my physiology with creation, my awareness of that, my awareness of it is powerful. So I can't imagine now that a soul is sent to me. Wow. And then, so there's got to be a whole lot that takes place physiologically with a woman. Like even before a doctor tells a woman she's pregnant, most women already knew they was pregnant. They just knew. I've even seen where women kind of could think back to the moment they even think they became pregnant, just on that feeling of just that knowing, you know. So I don't think that women take this arbitrarily, and I think there's a lot of devastation that goes on probably with women who have abortions. The guilt they must feel because, you know, I would just be there to say to any woman that's ever had an abortion, just know this, that Allah has said to us as mankind that any soul that he has decreed that is not coming to earth, it's nothing you can do to make it get here. And any soul that he has decreed that is coming to earth, you can't stop it. So hopefully that gives any women that would hear that some comfort, you know. But I think that it's a major thing, and it's usually for the wrong reasons, but there's a pathology to that because women are having more abortions because the society has changed. If you go back to a society where that you could do is go out and get a girl pregnant, or we're gonna beat your ass, that you will be ostracized from the family. Everybody will you become a stain, a pariah. Like, nah, you understand? And go back to the same thing with females. Like, the worst thing you could do is go out there and get pregnant, open your legs and get pregnant. Worst thing you could do, call her a slut, a harlot, and everything else. If we go back to that, then you don't have babies coming to. You have babies coming to couples suddenly again, where there's a mother and a father who have wanted this baby and planned for it. It wasn't an accident, a mistake, and all this other shit. You understand? So a breakdown of the society has led to this. It didn't just appear overnight. It's a pathology of things, a breaking down of morals, the society, you know, getting women out of the house, making you think you're empowered to get out of the house. That's so they can get more people into the workforce. It's a whole social design, but this is also affected by that. So I'm not going to be here to bitch about women getting abortions, because that's just between her and God. It has to be. Because even if she didn't have the abortion, it's still between her and God. So we're going to bitch now, you know? Like, it's a profound miracle. Like, I have such reverence for it in a way that I don't see even women having it, you know? I hate when I see a woman and she's pregnant and she's like, girl, I can't wait till I drop the baby. Girl, I can't even wait. And she's so not in that holy place of reflection and reverence and really understanding the magnitude of this event, because it's an event. So it's just all been just degraded away, man. In fact, so I'm okay with it, but I also think there's a way to drastically take the numbers down and get to a point where women really don't have to make the decision of abortion unless it's something medical, or, you know, it would be in danger to her life to try and carry the baby to term. I mean, there's all kinds of other stuff now, you know, and then you add GMO and a bunch of other shit to that, and it gets into a whole nightmare. But that's related to this, because I want to tie these two together, this abortion thing and breastfeeding, because these are very powerful for me. In fact, what I want to find now first I want to share a story with you because it goes with what I want to show you. My disaster for a sister, I'm over it. My sister, the mother of my nephew, the prince. The prince is her firstborn child. I was living in Maryland. She gave birth to this little man. And yeah, this is what I need. And I can't figure out now, y'all. I don't remember if Nasir was born already and then I heard the song, or I heard the song and then he was born. I can't remember. I'm going to have to figure that out. But that aside, let me see if this is it.
This was Celine Dion's answer. She's being interviewed on kind of like an MTV live type show. There's a lot of people there.
What?
In the studio and outside. This woman.
Wait, I don't know.